J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, the man who changed the world forever. In the vast theater of human history, there are a few individuals whose intellect and decisions have reshaped the course of civilization. One such figure is J. Robert Oppenheimer. Known widely as the father of the atomic bomb, Oppenheimer was not merely a scientist, but a symbol of the terrifying potential of human genius. This is his story, a tale of brilliance, war, ethics, and legacy. The making of a prodigy. Born in 1904 in New York City, Julius Robert Oppenheimer was the son of a wealthy Jewish textile importer and an artist. Raised in an intellectually nurturing household, Robert displayed extraordinary intelligence from a young age. By the time he entered Harvard University at age 18, he had already mastered several languages and developed a passion for literature, chemistry, and physics. At Harvard, he excelled in science, but was equally drawn to the humanities. His professors noted both his genius and his emotional complexity. After graduating summa cum laude in just 3 years, he traveled to Europe to continue his studies. In Cambridge and then Göttingen, Oppenheimer studied under legendary physicists like Max Born and Werner Heisenberg. He contributed to quantum theory, making him one of the leading young physicists of his time. He returned to the United States in the late 1920s and soon began teaching at both the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, and the University of California, Berkeley. The rising storm. By the 1930s, the world was inching toward chaos. Fascism spread across Europe. In 1938, German scientists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann discovered nuclear fission, the process by which uranium nucleus splits, releasing an enormous amount of energy. Physicists quickly realized the terrifying implication. If fission could be controlled and directed, it could produce a weapon of unimaginable power. Alarmed, physicist Leo Szilard, with the help of Albert Einstein, wrote a letter to President Franklin Roosevelt in 1939, warning of Nazi Germany's potential to develop an atomic bomb. The U.S. responded with the formation of the Advisory Committee on Uranium, eventually evolving into the top-secret Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project. In 1942, the U.S. launched the Manhattan Project, a massive effort to build an atomic bomb before Nazi Germany. Oppenheimer, with his brilliant mind and wide knowledge of quantum mechanics, was chosen to lead the scientific aspect of the project. Despite never having managed a large group before, his charisma and intellect quickly won the respect of his peers. The government established a remote laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Under Oppenheimer's leadership, the facility attracted the best physicists from around the world: Enrico Fermi, Edward Teller, Niels Bohr, and others. Together they toiled in secret, racing against time. 2 designs were pursued: a uranium-based gun-type bomb and a more complex implosion plutonium bomb. The stakes were global. The pressures were immense. For many, including Oppenheimer, it was a Faustian bargain, saving the world by creating a weapon that could destroy it. Trinity, the first atomic explosion. On July 16, 1945, in the deserts of New Mexico, the world entered a new era. The Trinity test was the first detonation of an atomic device, a plutonium implosion bomb. As the desert lit up with a blinding light and the shock wave tore across the land, history was made. Witnessing the blast, Oppenheimer quoted the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The test was a success. The United States now possessed the most powerful weapon known to man: Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Less than a month after Trinity, the atomic bomb was used in war. On August 6, 1945, the uranium bomb Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima. 3 days later, the plutonium bomb Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki. The devastation was apocalyptic. Over 200,000 people died, many instantly. The cities were leveled. Survivors suffered radiation sickness, burns, and long-term health effects. Japan surrendered shortly thereafter, effectively ending World War II. Oppenheimer, initially hailed as a hero, began to feel conflicted. Though the bombs ended the war, he questioned the morality of what he had helped create. The sheer scale of destruction haunted him. The ethical struggle. In the aftermath of the war, Oppenheimer became a national icon. He served as an advisor to the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, AEC, advocating for international control of nuclear weapons and warning against an arms race. However, tensions escalated. The Soviet Union tested its own atomic bomb in 1949. Some in the U.S. government pushed for the development of even more powerful hydrogen bomb. Oppenheimer opposed this, calling it a weapon of genocide. His stance made him enemies. During the Red Scare and McCarthy era, suspicions about Oppenheimer's past associations with leftist groups resurfaced. In 1954, a security hearing revoked his clearance, effectively ending his role in national security. Fall from grace. The 1954 hearing was a public humiliation. Though Oppenheimer was not proven to be a traitor, his opposition to the hydrogen bomb and his political views were enough to sideline him. He returned to academic life, giving lectures and writing essays, yet the bitterness of betrayal remained. For many, Oppenheimer became a tragic figure, the Prometheus of the nuclear age, punished for bringing fire to mankind. Legacy and final days. In his final years, Oppenheimer continued to reflect on science, politics, and humanity. In 1963, President Lyndon Johnson awarded him the Enrico Fermi Award, an attempt at redemption. Oppenheimer died of throat cancer in 1967 at the age of 62. His death marked the end of an era, but not of the questions he had raised. Today, he remains a figure of deep complexity, a man who unleashed great power and spent the rest of his life grappling with its implications. J. Robert Oppenheimer's life forces us to confront difficult questions. Can science be separated from its consequences? Is knowledge inherently good, or does it depend on how it's used? He was a brilliant mind who helped end a devastating war, yet also opened the door to the nuclear nightmare that still hangs over humanity. In the end, Oppenheimer is more than the father of the atomic bomb. He is a mirror, reflecting both the brilliance and the darkness within us all.